Hello, everyone. Are we live? Can people see me? Make sure you're commenting on here. And if you're on Instagram, make sure to go to the link in my bio. That way you can be part of this whole interface that I'm in with like a live shopping interface for Withings. So you can go to the link in my bio. There's like Withings event and you can tap in there and then you'll be part of our live experience. But first we're gonna just wait for people to join in, and once we've got a good amount of people in, we'll start going through pretty much all of these Withing products that I use personally. Some of them I don't, but I have a lot of information on them. But my favorite one is my ScanWatch 2, which I've been wearing for, I don't know, maybe 3 years now. So yeah, join on in with that link in my bio. And there's also going to be an exclusive discount code during this. Hi, Jess. There's going to be an exclusive discount code during this live. So I don't want you to miss out on that. It's going to be for, I believe, 20% off the products, which is a really good deal. So yeah, we'll start in about a minute, maybe. Just wait for everyone to come in, and we're going to be talking about, I have a ScanWatch. Someone has a ScanWatch Lite and a Medtronic 7. Ooh, awesome, Raul. So Raul says that they also have a ScanWatch. They have the ScanWatch Lite, and they use the Medtronic 7 ABG pump. And so, Raul, I get these awesome alerts sent to my ScanWatch from my pump notifications on my phone, and that's kind of how the notifications work on the watch. What I love about that is they're very clean looking alerts. I'm going to get into this too. I'm just so excited to talk about it, but that's one of my favorite features of the watch is getting my alerts sent, specifically my low and high glucose alerts or even sensor failures and stuff like that. So welcome everyone. We'll start in another maybe 30 seconds. But yeah, I got a bunch of products here. I've got this sleeping mat. We've got my ScanWatch. I have another ScanWatch, which is the Nova, which is so beautiful. Look at that. It's a really pretty elevated one. There's the one I currently wear with a nice leather band. And then you've got this one. And then I also have the scale I've been using. So I've used multiple different scales that they have. This one is the body scan. Okay, everything's opposite. The body scan, and it has this little lever that helps you scan different aspects of your body, which I'll get into. All right, I mean, it looks like we have a lot of people. Withings, you're in the chat. How do we feel? Do we feel like we're ready? So Withings is going to be in the chat answering questions that people have. I'll be doing my best to answer your questions as well. I'll do my best. And the good news is that this coupon code, the latest you can use it is by the end of the day. But it's only for today. And it's a very exclusive, and we've got 7 minutes until it's shared. So, but I have a feeling after I tell you about some of these features, you're just going to be like, I want this now. So do they have, T1D and Mama is asking, do they have any T1D related items? So the interesting, there's so much to diabetes, right? And this is why Withings came to me about doing this. And we've worked together in the past because they know I love their products. So many of these products are helpful in me managing my type 1 diabetes, and also getting legitimate alerts on my watch to take action to manage, right? So there's the side of being a healthy human being and doing my best to be active and manage my diabetes in that way, and then getting legitimate alerts on my watch. So we're going to kind of go through all these products I have that I've been using for years. The reason I am so conscious about my health, it's not just my type 1 diabetes, but when I was 21, I had cancer, and that at that moment or after that experience, it made me really focus on my health and wanting to be as proactive as I can be when it comes to what I'm in control of, right? And that's why I use products like the Withings, my watch, my scale, my sleeping mat, and things like that. And it's why I work out and I'm on top of all that stuff, and why I want devices that remind me of how much activity have I had this week, how am I doing on my fitness goal, how are my glucose level alerts, or how are my ECG stats, right? So what these products allow me to do is not only stay informed, but also be proactive about my health. And then you're going to hear about all the ways that like you could be proactive with these products too. Happy Thursday. So I'm just like a super health conscious person from all these experiences. And also I was struggling, I'm trying to use the past tense for it, with long COVID and a lot of fatigue and trying to find direct connections as to what made me have like good days and bad days, right? So all of these factors added up to wanting to use products that keep me really in the know with my health. The cool thing about all the products I'm talking about today, or almost all of them, is that they're FSA and HSA eligible, which means that if you have like a flexible spending account or the other health savings account with your job, if you're in the US, you can use that money that you've been putting aside and it's like tax-free on all these products. So that is pretty amazing. So I know I would have taken that advantage of that if I had an FSA when I got these products. And that discount code that we're going to get is going to come up in like 5 minutes. So the discount code should work. I think Withings can answer, but I think the discount code should work for everyone who is able to buy product. And I'm pretty sure it's a French company, I think. So I think that it will work. Yeah, in the European Union and the UK it will also work. And then the US, we got you. And then there's on-screen buttons down here if you're on the live shopping event, which if you're on Instagram, join us on the live shopping event because that's where you can like interact with the products I'm talking about, scroll through them, and then like add them to a cart and stuff like that. So let's start with my absolute favorite product of Withings, but also like maybe of my life. And I'm not even joking. So it's the ScanWatch. This is you've probably seen videos on my page of me talking about it. It is a really pretty looking device. It's got this OLED screen, which scrolls through all of the different metrics that it shares with me. So you see the time, you got the heart rate, step count, distance traveled. Wow, I really haven't moved that much today. I need to go walk. My body temperature, and I can log workouts. And it's also a beautiful OLED screen, which I love. So all of Withings watches are what you would call a hybrid smartwatch or health monitor. So they're very pretty looking designs. This is the ScanWatch 2. This one goes for, I believe, $349.95. And then there's also the Nova, which goes for $59.95. This is a very elevated looking watch. And what these do is they have a very like traditional watch style, but they have all of these health metrics on them with a pretty minimal looking screen. Like when it's off, you don't even, it looks like it's just part of the screen. And then I also like, you see how when I press it, the little dials move. It's like a really nice experience. Best part of these watches is that they have a 30-day battery life, which I live a very active lifestyle. I'm always traveling. You've noticed probably I'm a digital nomad, so I'm always moving around, typically for 30 days at a time, but I do a lot of like week-long trips, 2 weeks long. I don't even have to bring a charger with this for most trips. Anything under 4 weeks, like for a 3-week trip, I don't need to bring my charger. I charge it to full and I'm set for the vacation. That was a huge adjustment in a good way for me when I switched to this watch. Not having to put it on a charger every night and not even close to that, like having to only charge it every 3 days has been one of the best experiences with it. I use it to track my workouts. So whenever I'm going on a run or in the gym, I can assign which type of workout it is. I can assign that right on the watch. It's got a really good like haptic feedback for when you're using the controls and stuff. But this fits into my life very well just because of like not having to worry about it charging. It gathers all of my metrics and stuff like that. So another thing that I mentioned earlier in this live was alerts. You get any alert you get sent to your phone gets sent to the watch, and that you can update. So I turned off a lot of alerts because I don't want all of my alerts going onto my wrist. I only want the specific ones that are important to me that I want to know right away on my watch. So that can be configured on the phone. I have my CGM readings, my continuous glucose monitor readings, specifically alerts. So if I have a high glucose reading, a low glucose reading, alerts sent to my phone, they get sent right to my watch. And they even show the arrow. They show the number, they show the arrow, and then tell me like what type of alert it is. If I have a signal loss issue, I get that alert. If my sensor's about to expire, I get that alert too. So hands down, the alerts on here, not just for my diabetes alerts, but also because of phone calls and texts, that's what I have coming on here. I limit it to that, but you can limit it to whatever apps you want. I like the ability to get the crucial diabetes CGM alerts on my watch, but not be bombarded or overwhelmed by like, this is your trajectory and this is your graph and this is your current glucose. I want to live in the moment, and this watch allows me to do that. So now let's talk about kind of the metrics that this watch specifically, like ingrained in the watch, what it does. It tracks a bunch of different metrics. It tracks your heart rate. It tracks your footstep count. So I set that to 10,000 steps. You can set it all the way up to 15,000 steps. I use the step count as a way to know, like a very simple way to know, like, am I moving enough today? Which today I haven't because I've been prepping for this. So I'm at almost 2,000 steps, but I know that later I'll go on the treadmill and I'll hopefully get that closer to my 10,000 count. I do my best to hit the goal of steps from the watch. I do my best to do it every day. And I like having that on my wrist to be like, okay, maybe we can move a little more. It also tracks your heart rate. This is a good indicator of cardiovascular health. So I tend to keep an eye on what my heart rate is over long spans of time, from more like a month to month basis. And I can directly see a difference in when I have a more active month, my resting heart rate being much lower. And so that's been like a pretty easy way to be like, well, how fit am I right now? The step count is a very like immediate thing, and the heart rate is a more long-term thing, right? These are all like ways of being just on top of my health. And having that right on my wrist. Another thing with the ScanWatches, they also track your sleep. Now, I was having a lot of fatigue throughout the day, and I wanted to see if that correlated with my sleep and how well I slept one night and then how I felt the other day. So I was journaling how I was feeling certain days. Oh, the coupon code is up, by the way. I don't know if that just got there, but the coupon code, 20% off, Justin. Also, I'll do a bit better of a job reading your comments. I'm just like so in this. And Withings, if there's like specific questions that you think I should like get to, like feel free to answer. You're a purple name, so I can see that better. So sleeping with this is, it gives you a really good screen on the Withings app. So by the way, all of this information goes right on the Withings app. It's like my go-to stop for seeing, so sleep quality. So right there, I have a tab for sleep quality. When I tap in there, you can see last night, and it shows like the different parts of sleep, your REM sleep, your deep sleep, and then also your heart rate, right, throughout the night. How long you slept last night was a 98, and it's true. I mean, I had a really good night's sleep. One reason that I'm using the sleep tracking, or why it's important to me, is, especially with managing my diabetes, is that with diabetes and wearing a continuous glucose monitor, you can have lows, you can have highs, and these can really interfere with your sleep. And sometimes you're so delirious in your sleep that you don't quite register or remember that you were having sleeping issues or disrupted sleep. So using that and looking at my sleep patterns, I tend to do like at the end of the week, I'll look at everything because I don't want to overwhelm myself. I'm sure everyone's different there. I'll look at that and be like, okay, where did I have disturbances? Did I have a low that day? I'll look at my CGM data and kind of align those. Which CGM do you use to get your CGM alerts? So I use the Dexcom G7. It's currently right here. And that connects to my insulin pump, and together those automate insulin delivery so that I can live in the moment as much as possible. It's not perfect, but it is much better than it used to be. Yes, 30 hours of battery life. So yes, so sleep tracking is big there. What it could also do is an oxygen saturation during sleep, like scan. So let me read this. So it measures oxygen saturation of arterial hemoglobin, or SpO2, assesses the amount of oxygen which assesses the amount of oxygen contained in your red blood cells. So this indicates how well your body is receiving and utilizing oxygen, which is vital for organ function and overall health. This metric was very important to me to align with the fatigue I was experiencing. And I have gotten better, which is good news. And I'm not noticing any issues, at least now, with oxygen saturation. But I think that with the issues I was experiencing, it wasn't related to oxygen. But it's very possible that you or someone you know that is having fatigue issues could be related to that. So the fact that this watch tracks for that is great. It also has an ECG test, an electrocardiogram test, which detects heart rhythm abnormalities like AFib. This is like a number one way to be proactive about your health, because so many people have abnormal like heart rhythms or AFib. And the fact that this watch will monitor for that and let you know, send you a notification of that, is a great way to be on top of your health. Now, it's not diagnosing you with anything. This is not a device that diagnoses you. But what it does is it gives you that information that you can then go and be informed and go to your doctor, which, especially being in the type 1 community, we know that it's sometimes best to go into your appointment being like, this is what I want to do, or these are my thoughts here, here's what I want to try and stuff like that. Oftentimes a lot of people can feel that their doctor's not listening to them, but when you go in and you're informed, more power to you, right? Like I said, all of this information from the ScanWatch goes into the Withings app. And I mean, it's a really intuitive looking app. I've got my I've got my step count here. I've got my weight. Weight we're gonna get into in a second because this doesn't weigh you, obviously, but my scale does. My muscle body composition, so that's also for my scale. Let's see. The ECG right there. My heart rate, ECG, and then you also can see all of my workouts. So that was let's see. What I really like the way it shows your workouts. So it shows you a list of all your workouts, how long they were, and then you can also, I believe, look at it in a month view. But even right there, you can just see with like colorful dots, like, oh, I worked out every day of the week. I deserve a rest day. I'm probably gonna do a rest day today. Anyway, I probably spent too much time on the ScanWatch, but as you can tell, I love it. And by the way, if anyone is tuning in on Instagram, there is a live shopping event interface that you can join in on by clicking the link in my bio. So head over to the link in my bio, click that. You'll be able to come into this chat and you'll see all the products I'm talking about. And we're also showing footage of it, and I'm becoming small and stuff. So again, ScanWatch 2, this one's $349.95. This one is FSA and HSA eligible. So is the ScanWatch Lite, which is a more slim version of this, a little more petite, still has the pretty metal on the side. That is also FSA and HSA eligible, but it doesn't have the ECG, continuous temperature tracking, or blood oxygen levels. But if those aren't important features to you and you want all of the other features, it is a great watch. It's nice and petite. And then there's the ScanWatch Nova, which I mean, look at that. And the blue is beautiful. And then also I realized as I was preparing, I was like, wow, it matches my ring. So this is a really pretty elevated watch as well. That does have all of the features. And this one goes for $599.95. This is their top of the lineup. There is one other version. I think it's the Nova Brilliant. And that has a couple more designs as well. Any other questions? All right. So that was the ScanWatch line. I have an Instagram reel on my page that shows off like the amazing alerts. If you're still like, oh, like what do these alerts look like? You can go to my page and watch that video. That's like such a cool feature. Okay, we are done with the ScanWatch now. We are going to the scales. There is a whole lineup of scales that Withings has. In fact, they invented the first smart scale. They are like they are the leading smart scale company, or the leading company in connected health, the connected health category. So I'm gonna start with their like lower tier, but I just want to show you like what the scale looks. Well, this is the highest tier scale that I have. This is the scale. Ooh, you can see my light. This is the body scan that has another piece here for its extra scanning ability. This is one of the scales, but I'm going to start with the Body Smart. So the Body Smart is their base scale. That one goes for $99.95, and it measures a bunch of things. It measures body composition metrics, fat mass, muscle mass, standing heart rate. What I love about their Withings whole line of scales, and this is my second scale. I just upgraded. I have the body comp, which I'll get to next. But what I love about all of them is they have a nice little screen on it, which as you're standing on it, it lists off all the different metrics that it's measuring in that moment. Also, they all go to the app. So as soon as you do that, all of those metrics go to the app over Wi-Fi, and you can watch all of your change over time on different like graphs and charts and stuff like that. So it does all the work for you. Again, coupon code 20% off, which I've never seen before. I've done work with Withings before, like we've done social videos, and we've never done a coupon code. So, like, come on. Anyway, what I like about the scales is it's part of my morning routine. I wake up, take a shower, or sometimes I don't take a shower, but still, whether I shower or not, when I go to the bathroom, I stand on the scale, and it's reading off all the different metrics, but then it also reads off like the weather, the air quality. Like it gives you this morning report, kind of like an Amazon device that, you know, when you say like, start my morning routine, that's my scale for me. And I really like that interface. And of course, all of these metrics that it's measuring are really important metrics to be aware of and how they fluctuate over time. They paint a good picture of your overall health. So when I was first diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, I got so skinny. I lost 25 pounds, and I had no idea because I wasn't weighing myself. I wasn't on top of, I just didn't weigh myself. And it wasn't until I had multiple people tell me like, Justin, you look really sick, that I finally weighed myself and noticed I had lost 25 pounds over my normal weight. And I guess what I like about having a scale like this that not only does weight, but does all these other measurements, is that I can more quickly notice changes in my body. And then if something is alarming, bring that up at a doctor's appointment. So next up, so I'll get into more about what these different metrics do with the body comp. So the body comp is their next level over the Body Smart. And then the body comp is the scale that I've had for probably 3 years now. And one thing that the body comp adds over the Body Smart, it has all of the Body Smart information, but it's vascular age, which estimates the health of your arteries. So this is how it works. It measures using pulse wave velocity. Essentially, pulse wave velocity measures how fast the pressure wave generated by your heartbeat travels through your arteries. So each time your heart beats, it pushes blood into your arteries, creating a pressure wave. This wave travels along your arteries. And so what the scale does is it gives you a vascular age in a range, right? So I'm 33 years old. I've been measuring my vascular age, and it said 30 to 34. I did just notice an elevation in my vascular age to a little bit higher. And I am 33 years old, so I don't want it to be higher. It was around 37. And considering it's around my arteries, and I have been told I have high cholesterol, that was concerning. So I already plan on going to the doctor, and I'm assuming that there's a connection there. So I'm going to go to the doctor and bring that up, and also mention like maybe it is time for me to start taking medication to treat for my cholesterol, which has to do with arteries. So it does. So that body comp gives you a good picture of overall cardiovascular health. The body comp is their next level. That goes for $199.95. And then the Body Smart, which was the lower tier, goes for $99.95. Now, for the one that I've been using lately, I just upgraded to this one. So this is the Body Scan. So this is their top tier model. It has everything that I've discussed, like all the metrics. So it has, I'll just read this off again so you remember, body composition metrics, fat mass, muscle mass, standing heart rate. It has the vascular age that the body comp introduced. And then this one also brings in ECG. Okay, so what's interesting about that is, let's say you don't have a watch, right? Or you don't want a watch. You like the watch you use because this does ECG. And but you still, like, that's an important metric for you. Then getting a scale like this, like the body scan, then that makes sense if you want that ECG scan and you don't want the watch. So that's what these handles are for. This handle for this, that helps measure the ECG. That can be helpful for knowing knowing heart conditions, or like those who are at higher risk. But it is important to note that this is not a substitution for a medical electrocardiogram, but it is definitely a valuable tool to use. Let's scroll back. Are we able to scroll back down? I want people to see that picture, Withings. I'd love people to see the little screen if possible, unless this is like a scrolling video, we can't. But this gives you valuable information that you can use to then go to your doctor and say, hey, I've got these ECG results, and let me show you what this looks like, because it's quite remarkable. Let's see if I can, okay, right here. So it says I have normal sinus rhythm, and look, so this is the screen. So you can see my ECG here, but watch this. You can watch it. I mean, come on. You go to the doctor with that and say, hey, can you look at my ECG? Especially if you've been noticing like symptoms or issues that may be related to your heart. I mean, that is knowledge, and knowledge is power. But yeah, look, I can even open it up, put it sideways, and then you have it right there and you can play it. So, I mean, it gives me so much information that I'm not a doctor, I don't fully understand, but there are like layers and layers, like all of these different tabs that a doctor could at least look at and then go in the direction that's important for them. And then it also gives you like a month view too, where you can see like the last 4 days for me have been in the green. I have normal rhythm, and we're good. So that is the body scan. Those are all their scales. And if you want to see like me using the scale and kind of what the screen looks like, I mean, the website has some great imagery, and you can access the site from on here. But also I made an Instagram reel a while back that you could find. You could Google it, actually. Google Diabetech Withings body comp, and that video should come up. And you can learn more about it from me in that. All right, now we are done with scales. I'm going to take a sip of water. Thank you all for being here, by the way. This has been fun, and I'm not done yet. I have a few more, one more product, and then just like I want to talk about the app for a second. But if you're on Instagram, you should still come over to the live feed via the link in my bio, because that way you can like see the interface and see all the products I'm talking about. But next up, I want to talk about the sleep tracking mat. So I've been using this for about a month now, or a few weeks. And this is what it looks like. I'm not going to show you the actual map because it's under my bed, but it looks like this, or there's another picture. It looks like this, and this is, I guess, the mechanics. And so this mat goes underneath your mattress, and it can scan or monitor a few different things while you sleep. So first, it tracks your heart rate. So if you're not someone who wants to wear anything, especially in bed, using this under your mattress, you actually place it under your mattress where your chest will be, and it can measure your heart rate through the mattress, which is just like so cool. And that information will go right to the app. So let's say you don't want to watch, you have this watch and you just don't want to wear a watch. I have many nights like that where I'm like, all right, I just want to have everything off of my body and just use that. So that can track your heart rate, which is pretty cool. It also has the ability to, it has 2 microphones that are used to monitor sound and disturbances overnight. So actually the ScanWatch can do this too. But the mat, it has a couple microphones on there, and it is listening. I'm going to see if I can find it on the app. It is listening for overnight audio and breathing disturbances. So here we go. So it says I have low breathing disturbances, which is good to know. But as I was saying before, like I've been dealing with this fatigue, and one thing I was worried about was, is it my overnight sleep that's bad? Do I have sleep apnea? If I have sleep apnea, how do I monitor for that? And I'm sure there's a way to monitor for that. If you go to the doctor, they give you a machine or something to listen to it. But this device will monitor overnight and let you know if there are sleeping disturbances, if you're snoring, if you're making sound, and let you know on the app. And right there, just having that ability to know that maybe there is a lot of noise one night, and then being able to see if that correlates with a day where you just have so much fatigue, or you're feeling really sluggish, maybe you're a little depressed because you got bad sleep. Being able to make those connections is just empowering. So, and that kind of goes with a lot of these products, is just the ability to like look at how are you feeling day to day, and then look at your metrics and see, okay, what did my metrics look like? What was my heart rate? What was my sleep like last night? So that's helpful. And it gives you a sleep score. So last night I had my 98, so I'm happy with that. And now another product, this is the only product I haven't tried, is Withings has a BPM Connect, which is a blood pressure monitor. Now, there are lots of blood pressure monitors out there, but why would you want this one? And this one goes for $99.95 because it goes with the interface of Withings. So this is a good idea for people who want all of their measurements from their BPM, their blood pressure monitor, just in a place where they don't have to always take notes of what things were. So that could also be good for like just elderly people who you just, have them put it on every day and do the measurements, and all the information just goes to the app. Maybe that's your parent, and you can actually have all that information go to the app that you use, because it's all over Wi-Fi. So if you've been directed by a doctor to use the blood pressure high blood pressure. All right. The last thing I kind of wanted to go over, and I've kind of done this a fair amount already, but I'll just kind of give you one last look, is the Withings app. And I think that all of this technology would be great, but it wouldn't be as great without the app. Like, I love wearing the watch, but the ability for all of the metrics I have to go to the app where I can see data points over time and how my step count is. Oh, wow, that week I was pretty stagnant. Like this week I'm going to work better. Like the ability to see my weight over time. Let's see. You can see like my weight fluctuation. Let's see if I can show this to you. You can see like the difference in weight. I gained a little weight. being able to see my vascular age, my ECG, I mean, all of this stuff that I've talked about today, having that in my hand and being able to look back at it week to week and just see how things have progressed, and setting goals, whether they're the goals that I've set myself or goals that you have with your doctor. I mean, when it comes to diabetes, activity is so important because, for one thing, the more active you are, the higher your insulin sensitivity goes. The higher your insulin sensitivity is, means the better insulin will work. And that can go for all the types of diabetes, is that like physical fitness and activity can be really integral for managing your diabetes. So being able to see that I haven't been active today and maybe that's why my blood sugar is kind of high. All right, let me go on a walk and be on top of that. So that's one way, at least with my diabetes, that using devices like this have empowered me to just be on top of my movement. And just having like an indicator that's as simple as this is your step count or this is your heart rate, that's just been really helpful for me. So that's why I love my watch. So with the Withings app, there is also Withings Plus. And so you get, first of all, you get so much on this app for free. So if you don't want a subscription, like I totally understand. And you don't need a subscription for like all the good stuff, but they do have a platform called Withings Plus. And what this allows you to do is you get 4 cardio checkups a year that are tailored to health insights. They give you health improvement scores, but they actually match you, I believe, with a board certified cardiologist or get like them reviewed by one. And they look at your ECG readings and your health data, and you get like a response after 24 hours after you enter that in. So, I mean, and that costs $99 a year or $9.95 a month. This is great for people who maybe you don't want to have to go to the doctor, or because this is a legitimate like cardiologist, board certified cardiologist that can look at all this data. So this is a good option. It's very tailored to a specific demographic, but if you're someone who wants these checkups, that could be a really great option for you. But I mean, the Withings app in general, it's just so clean looking. I have all of my stuff here. I've got my sleep graph, and it's just a phenomenal interface and product. And that's why I've been using Withings products for 3 years now. I really have like the full catalog because they help me just stay informed about my activity, which then helps me link things together with my own health, whether it's fatigue, whether it's diabetes, whether it's the blood sugar levels that I'm dealing with and stuff like that, and kind of directly looking at what the connection is there. So don't forget, we have the 20% off coupon, Justin, all caps. So you can use that today on any product that you decide to go with. That ends at midnight. And I will say again that I've never seen a coupon for Withings, and I've never had like a coupon code with Withings before on any content that we've put out. So if you've been thinking about getting something with them, that's probably now's probably the time to do it. Again, this is my favorite thing. Of course, Jess, I'm so glad that I could share it with you. And I'll wait. Does anyone have any questions? I'm sorry I've been terrible at answering questions, but if I can take a couple more questions before I head out, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, my step count. My step count was at 2,000. So I'm not doing so well. All right. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you so much for joining in. I appreciate everyone on Instagram coming over. How clean does the Pearl White Band? I don't know what the Pearl White Band watch band looks like. I will say that I absolutely love my like red leather. I believe it's Italian leather. Big fan of that. And then this is the band for the Nova. which is really pretty and very comfortable. Latch is open, and you close it. Does it show dirt? No. Like there's an aged look to it because I've had this for 3 years, but like in a nice way. It's like a nice aged look. I've never once had an issue. And then the screen, I have not one scratch on this thing after 3 years. It must be really scratch resistant. Like this is good glass. This is high quality. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining in. This was so fun. I'm so glad that we could do this together again. Coupon code Justin, 20% off. That is only going for another, however, 8 hours. It ends at the end of the day. So thank you everyone. Yes, midnight tonight, Eastern. So thank you everyone for coming in. It's been so great having you here, and I don't know how to end this live. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna exit out.